guys, welcome along. We're going to try to reproduce this sort of watercolour style traditional illustration using photographs here in Photoshop. And so let's get cracking. First things first, you'll want to turn your subject, your boat or whatever you're intending to do, into a smart object, because we'll be applying a series of effects and bits and pieces to it. So smart object. Okay, now I'm going to jump in here and create a filter using the filter gallery, and there isn't any magic formula. What this is about is just looking at what the filters achieve, what sort of stylization you want in your piece, and it's all about just playing what feels good to you. Okay, I'm going to use the cutout and I'm going to have maybe a few levels of here. We'll reduce that a little bit, simplifying. And again, I stress that this is all a bit experimental. You're just trying to achieve some version of stylization, getting away from the photographic nature of the image. So I'm going to go with that for now. And I'm going to put on another effect here now. I'm going to put on something here. Before I do this, I'm going to change this sort of foreground color, because this will affect the next filter I do. So I'm just changing this foreground color. Okay, so I'll change that. Now if I put on a filter now, filter gallery, I'm going to put on this maybe photocopy, and as you see, that's taking on the color of that image that I wanted, or this particular effect. Okay, now why I've put that effect on there is to show you that effects and filters have blending modes. So this is the most recent filter, this very top one. Jumping back in here, it has blending mode, so I've got the ability to apply blending modes to filters. So it's kind of fun to play with what you get here. And you also obviously have the concept of opacity, so maybe that's where I'm going. Okay, beautiful. Now I'm going to put on another effect, but in fact it's more a blur than an effect, and I want to put this thing called smart blur on. That's kind of good, because it'll tend to soften some of the harsh edges a little bit, and I'm hoping that might just push this along a little bit better. And we can see that it's just applying a little bit of sort of intelligent blur. So I think I kind of like that, and you can play with these settings, but I'm going to say okay to that. And yep, it feels just a little bit more sort of natural to me at the moment. Okay, good so far. Okay, that's essentially styling it up and getting the look and feel that you want. I'm now going to put on a mask on my image. I'm going to go and put a mask on top of everything. I'm going to fill that full of black, and I've set the foreground color, and I'm going to press Option Delete to hide everything on my layer. Cool. So there we go. That's the hard part. I'm going to get a brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a watercolor brush, but you could try anything. There we go, and on my mask, and I'm going to be starting to reveal my image from the mask. So I'm just painting into the mask here, as you can see, getting that sort of bringing the image back. Starting to look good. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Now I tend to not try to go out to the very edges of my scene. Sometimes that can sort of ruin the effect a little bit. I'm just doing this as quick as I can. Yeah, so this bottom area here, maybe you just try not to keep a bit of that real, maintain the look of a wet watercolor idea. And there we go. Look, that's going to be okay for now. Cool. So it's getting on nicely. I might just put another layer over the top, and I'm going to use another brush, and I've already set one up, but I'm using a sort of spatter style brush, and I just want to achieve a little bit of the the wet sort of spotty techniques that you're probably going to get when you paint with watercolor. Just pick a few local colors and dab it in here and there. You possibly don't want to overdo it, but you know, I think sometimes it just helps to sell the illustration. And you know, here and there and there. Okay, so that's looking okay. I can possibly live with that. Now, last things last, I'm going to put on a final adjustment layer here, and I'm going to put a pattern on, believe it or not. Now, obviously, that may not be the pattern I want, but I'm going to go and grab some of these legacy patterns. They've got some rather interesting and nice textures and sort of watercolour paper sort of ideas, and you can find something that you like in there. I'm going to say okay to that, and obviously that's probably going to want to sit in behind other things. And now I'm getting something that I feel I could live with as being somewhat of a reasonable facsimile of a watercolour or a light gouache painting. Alright guys, I hope that's been of some use to you guys. Good luck, and I'll see you all in the lesson.